Our youth is lost. In a world overpowered by division, distraction, and polarization, our youth is struggling to find the right path. But what if we, the youth, could rewrite our narrative and create a better future? Many adolescents today suffer from the pressures of a world dominated by overstimulation, overconsumption, and lack of meaningful connections. This has resulted in adolescents being stereotyped as disengaged and careless. And at 13, I felt lost as well. But I never imagined that one single phone call would transform my life and the lives of hundreds more. My experience made me wonder, how can we transform the potential of this new generation that has access to limitless information to take action and find connections? How about we learn to contribute instead of consume? My life changed exponentially the day I learned about BBYO. I was in 8th grade when I was offered a unique experience by my local Jewish community center to travel to Argentina and learn about BBYO, the largest global Jewish teen leadership organization in the world that was beginning to expand in Latin America. At the time, I was unsure of who I was or where I fit in. Middle school felt toxic, and this opportunity seemed like a breath of fresh air. So I decided to take the risk, travel 17 hours alone to a new country to meet new people and experience something I had never heard of, a youth group. That week in Argentina transformed me. I remember perfectly standing in a room as kids my age taught me public speaking and organizational skills. It wasn't parents or teachers, it was kids like me, and that made it stick. When I returned to Mexico, I felt motivated. I immediately gathered 15 Jewish teens from my school to start a youth group and implement the Argentinian project here. BBYO Mexico was born. 4 years later, BBYO Mexico has expanded into 2 active chapters, impacting over 700 teens. This organization became more than just a trip in the 8th grade. It became my mission to create spaces where teens feel safe, connected, and empowered, just like those passionate Argentinian teens who inspired me. This journey reshaped me from an anxious and insecure 13-year-old into a proud and confident leader of a new community. It taught me the transformative power of teen activism and collective action. Teens are in charge from start to finish, learning through both their successes and failures. Activities like leadership retreats or weekly events of personal reflection are all organized by BBYO members that are guided by a democratically elected board of 10 teens who take on roles such as presidents and directors of marketing and finance. These leadership opportunities through youth groups can be an antidote to the isolation epidemic. Another key element of youth groups is making meaningful connections. BBYO fosters an open-minded mentality by connecting teens from over 7 different schools and linking them with peers from around the globe. You might not be part of a youth group. Well, I hope that some of you may after this talk. But I want you to experience a glimpse of what it feels like. So please close your eyes and envision this moment. Picture yourself standing at the front of a room, heart pounding and nervous because you've never done this before. You're about to lead your first big event, a project you've worked hard to bring to life with your team. You take a deep breath And as you present your ideas, you see and feel the audience responding. Nods of agreement, smiles, and laughter fill the space. You forget about everything else, school, parents, challenges, and focus entirely on the moment. You watch your ideas unfold, connecting people. And then it hits you. What you think and do matters. Seeing your ideas turn into action becomes a lasting source of joy, purpose, and fulfillment. Now, open your eyes. That's what BBYO and youth groups do. They transform ideas into action and potential into reality. But why are youth groups so important right now? Teen mental health is a growing concern. According to recent studies by The Economist, teens look at their phone on average of 150 times per day. On the other hand, according to surveys conducted by the Mexican government in 2020, every single day, 3 adolescents take their own lives. Endless hours spent staring at screens generates feelings of hopelessness and disconnection among teens, which has increased the youth suicide rate by 4% in the last year. And that's why youth groups are important, because they guide you to discover the importance of real-life human connection during these formative years. And that, ladies and gentlemen, can save lives. Teen years are like the aperture of a camera, a lens that determines how much light and perspective we let in. Connecting, these years offer a chance to broaden our worldview, challenge assumptions, and explore who we truly are. Connecting with diverse groups helps us break down barriers and step outside of our familiar bubbles. Encouraging teens to open their apertures transforms isolation into involvement, shaping empathetic and open-minded leaders for the future. You might be wondering, this is great, Alexa, but what happens when any other spaces like BBYO Mexico or any other youth groups end after our teen years? Well, that's exactly the question I've been exploring. Is there an actual correlation between teen involvement in youth organizations and their leadership and citizenship as adults? Dr. Stephen Windmiller, a professor at Hebrew Union College, studied BBYO alumni as a case study on the long-term impact of youth organizations. Windmiller reported that active members in youth groups were twice as likely to be involved in leadership roles as adults compared to their peers. And over 80% of former members of youth groups engage in political, community, and volunteer activities as adults, compared to less than 50% of non-members. The natural path of leadership begins with youth groups. Research demonstrates that youth organizations are incubators for leadership and civic engagement. To further explore this impact, I decided to ask BBYO's most engaged members and alumni, what have you learned? How do you apply it? And how has BBYO transformed your life? One 17-year-old member shared, BBYO gave me a safe and welcoming space that allowed me to grow, form lifelong connections, and have confidence in myself. This highlights the first key skill BBYO fosters: social skills. Through connecting with diverse groups and taking on roles such as marketing and communications, teens learn to develop self-confidence and networking abilities. The second key skill BBYO fosters is organizational skills. As a 21-year-old alumni shared, BBYO's strategic calendaring taught me the value of organization, a skill I now apply to achieve my goals in life. Through planning events and managing schedules, teens learn to prioritize, lead teams, and handle responsibilities, preparing them for real-world challenges. The third key skill BBYO fosters is execution skills. Teens learn to transform ideas into action and dreams into reality through focus, consistency, and planning. As a BBYO alum, now a university student, shared, leadership opportunities in teen-focused spaces inspire growth and action, shaping how teens view themselves and their futures. If these three key skills are developed at 14, 15, and 16, teens will naturally develop a path of success, connection, and confidence into adulthood. So, what have I learned, and what do I want you to take away from this talk? Youth groups can be the powerful solution to the widespread identity and disconnection crisis plaguing many of our peers today. How? Number one, you gain skills that devices can't teach, such as social, execution, and organizational skills. 2, you develop an understanding of what truly matters, building real human connections. 3, you become a change maker, not just a passive critic of the world around you. 4, you are given a rare opportunity, the chance to commit to something meaningful. And finally, 5, you gain the confidence and the abilities to tackle life challenges, empowering you to become a leader as an adult. So I dare you, step out of your comfort zone, join or create a youth group. Be the one who breaks the stereotype of the disengaged teen and discover the leader within you. One who inspires others and drives us towards a purpose built on connection, empowerment, and success. With the right space, tools, and support, you have the power to become a catalyst for change. Thank you.